Oh, hello and welcome to Aldente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the East End Retrieval.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have SCP-354, the Red Pool.
There's the blood pool, or the blood pond.
No, it's called the Blood Pond in the entry, but like the actual title, when you look it up on the SCP like listings, has the name the Red Pool.
I see.
Yeah. So yeah, the reason we're covering an SCP just out of random is because Gamer and I recently watched Iron Lung,
Yes,
by Markiplier,
the movie.
the indie horror film that was #1 in the box office for like the first day.
Shockingly. Not shockingly, honestly.
And then Hollywood tried to cover it up.
Yeah. Evil Hollywood.
Yeah. But watching the movie, we're gonna have to do an Al Dente Real Talk at some point on it.
Probably.
But it made me want to go back and like watch the Let's Play, because I had watched the Let's Play Markiplier did of Iron Lung, the video game, like years ago. So I rewatched that video, and right at the beginning, he like Markiplier like comments that he thought he recognized like the premise of Iron Lung, i.e., like a blood ocean on like on a desolate moon, from an SCP entry, and he looked up an SCP entry that was SCP-354.
I think that was in the second episode he did, like after he
Was it
already,
in the
he already
second
beat the game. Because the starting of that one, he was like super tired and was just making a bunch of really dumb jokes and had to keep resetting the recording because of how dumb it was. Regardless, he brings up the fact that it's similar to this SCP entry.
Yeah, and so I figured, you know what, Iron Lung was really good. We need some good vibes, especially after last week's episode. Let's do an SCP entry that Markiplier commented on one of his really popular entries. So we're covering the Red Pool, or the Blood Pond, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, SCP-354, it's on the SCP website, the SCP Foundation website, which is scp-wiki.wikidot.com.
Yeah, I hate it.
No, I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah.
SCP-354 is by Dave Rapp. So you can check out the entry there on the Foundation website. And I suppose we'll give our initial recommendations before we get too far ahead. I'm going to recommend it.
I'm also going to recommend it.
I'm also going to not recommend it.
What?
No, I'm going to recommend it. I really threw you for a loop there.
Yeah, I was like all prepared to do like confetti, yay! And then that threw me off. But yeah, well, let's dive in and see why we gave it such a glowing roundhouse kick to the recommendations. Starting with the rundown. Now this SCP is pretty lengthy, but I have skimmed through it for this rundown. So SCP-354 is a pond or pool of red liquid similar to human blood. Its depth is unknown and even seems to have a rift of some kind to another alien place deeper down. Discovered in the Canadian North when survivors of a plane crash found it, and it has also been the center of some local urban legends prior to the SCP Foundation's intervention. Since the Foundation's arrival, or maybe as a result of or maybe the cause of the Foundation's arrival, there have been various on-site fortifications and facilities constructed to keep the pool contained as monstrous entities began emerging from the pool at various times. The first Foundation site was an observation station and ended with a TPK, total party kill, of the personnel involved, and the deployment of a mobile task force unit to clean up the mess. The next installation served as an enclosed barrier with defenses to put down the things crawling out while researching the remains and other various properties of the pool. There was also an expedition via a sub and a team of Foundation researchers that explored the place below and beyond the pool, an alien world where the laws of physics were different, and then things got quite hostile. Some of the data was corrupted. Except that, while these expedition logs were recovered and cataloged in SCP archives, no expedition can actually be recalled as happening.
What?
So, yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Where? What?
Yeah.
At the end of what? At the end of the exploration mission one?
At the very bottom of the expedition log, yeah. This document was discovered in Central Foundation database. No such mission to explore SCP-354 has yet been suggested or approved. No records of any personnel mentioned in this log exist. The log's origin is unknown.
Oh.
That was at the end of the last log of exploratory mission 354 Alpha.
I think I skimmed over that and misunderstood it, to be perfectly honest, because I was in a rush. That's a me issue, I know.
No, first off, yeah, that's a you issue, but also a missing, like, a document that like goes into straight crazy detail about this like expedition that doesn't exist and no one recalls it is honestly standard fare for the SCP Foundation.
I hate that's a thing though. That's
Why?
a problem now because we're still in the rundown, dude.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah. So anyway, the second installation that was meant as a barrier from the things from the pool was destroyed after former staff and D-Class fled the site with armaments and vehicles before detonating the on-site warhead. They also wiped out the pursuing Mobile Task Force unit and have not yet been recovered or eliminated. A third facility was constructed, starting to get some real Monty Python. We built a castle into a swamp and it sank into the swamp, so we built another one and that sank into the swamp kind of vibes. Mm-hmm. This time...
Hang on, before you get on with that though, are there three? I thought there was only two.
There was
Area 354 and then the Red Pool containment site.
But before those two, there was the observation station, which I'm counting as a facility or like a on-site like Foundation facility.
Are you sure? Because when I search for observation, nothing shows up.
All right, pulling up again. Hang on.
I don't know where you're seeing this. I thought they found it. They're like, fuck, okay, let's put Area 354 around it with dudes with guns and then shoot everyone that comes out and that's
station.
It.
Watch Station Epsilon 38. After locating the source of the legends, SCP personnel set up a watch station Epsilon 38 to monitor the pool and to deter future travelers from finding it.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
Are you okay, gamer?
No.
It feels like you're being gaslit by the anomaly.
Maybe I am. Maybe this whole thing is just an elaborate ruse.
Yeah.
Maybe this is all a bit. Who knows?
Gamer never existed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this podcast never existed.
But yes, you're right.
Okay. But yeah, so yeah, getting those vibes. But this time, the third installation was a massive concrete slab over the pool, and the facility that was built around that seems to be still standing and operational, but there have been some incidences. We are then treated to a document of an interview transcript from an agent that was at the site where the Foundation was planning to drain the pool, as it were, but something went horribly wrong. It seems from the agent's ramblings that the pool is conscious, or there's a intelligence behind it, and it was it's been playing with us up until now, sending monsters out and testing the waters, testing out the Foundation's defenses and such. But now that the Foundation plans to remove the blood from the pool is getting angry and is going to start taking things seriously. And that is where we are left off, with that sort of cliffhanger dread.
Mm.
So yeah, that was SCP-354, the Red Pool, in a nutshell. But I suppose we should move on to everyone tolerates the Grand Inquisitions. At this point, I've really got nothing. Mikey, these stands for evil.
Well, I have a conjunction junction.
Of course you do.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot doot.
It has been 22 months since the last entity emerged from the pool. So, let's start at the beginning. It was a way out. It makes it seem like we have the pool under control. And yet, every time some beast tries to come through, somehow it manages to get loose into the building. So, O5 approved the draining of SCP-354, and then what happened? And you were among those agents. But it was like we had to escape right now. And you were the only one feeling this sensation? It came from the fucking pool. It wouldn't let us. But now we have it locked up, and we just tried to execute it. It gets bigger and stronger every day, and now we've made it angry. Finn.
I think actually you left one out from that previous line. It's growing.
Okay. I had a bit of issues with my it finder.
Your it finder?
Yep.
I'm down Pennywise at every turn. No, not to grammar Nazi York.
But you totally did.
Yeah.
All right, and then I have a conjunction junction for the exploration log.
God. Okay.
Of course you do.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot doot.
Personal log for Dr. Redacted. It's not hydrodynamic at all, but we're not really going swimming here. Exploratory Team 354 Alpha, ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 1. And the whole mission almost ended in disaster when it turns out that they almost forgot to load the extra fuel on board. ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 9.
Can I bring up something real quick? In these it stories, wouldn't it be better to remove all the context of what section, what day it is, and just read them one after another?
Yeah, that is kind of true.
Because the whole point of this is to remove as much context as possible, right?
So that we can create silly little stories from the.
Yeah, because you read the first one and then you put a title in between them, so it kind of separated it, so you can't there's no. It makes it harder to flip from one to the other for silliness.
As you say, you want me to stop doing that?
I'm recommending it. You can do what you like. I was just bringing that up because I've noticed that in with chapter marks and stuff, it kind of gives too much context.
True.
Okay.
And now we've come full circle, and everyone is critiqued.
Right. But when we got to the shore, we found that the green musk stuff was everywhere. It had grown in mass significantly. It just occurred to me that there's been no wind at all in this place. It sounded a lot like that big and reptilian. It was so loud that it was certain whatever was making it couldn't be more than 20 feet away. But when we all got out of our tents, we didn't see anything. It almost looks like a well-mown lawn. It's no threat to our Foundation issue boots, but we must all be careful not to fall on it. It sounded exactly the same as before, and again, we have no idea what made the sound, and none of us can even agree the direction it came from. It's made of solid, rusty iron, and stands maybe 50 feet high. It turns out it's only about a quarter of an inch thick, but there's another wall behind it with less than a foot between. And finally, there's some wind. Finn.
And that was the end of the log.
Kind of interesting, like when it's describing like there's this large noise that's like reptilian and everything, and then it's saying like it was 15 feet tall and made of solid iron. It's like now there's like a huge golem there apparently.
Yeah.
That's made of iron that's quarter of an inch thick, but there's multiple layers of it.
Or just a really rusty Grimlock, the transformer that turns into a T-Rex.
Yes, of course. That makes sense. They're on Cybertron.
Yeah. Yeah, this portal just goes to a really rusty, age decayed Cybertron.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Totally.
They've been afflicted by a case of the rust monsters from D&D.
Are those thing?
Yeah, they're actually one of the first monsters in D&D that were created. They're a monster that is like a dog-sized like tick or like beetle-like thing that specifically eats metal and by rusting it like super fast.
I would hate to be a Warforged.
Yeah. Be glad I've never tossed at you. Some of our other players who are like veterans of D&D would have nom flashbacks from like earlier campaigns.
Damn, they're that bad, eh?
Yeah, because magic items are also not immune to them.
What if they're not made of metal?
Well, if they're made of metal, yeah, like that it specifically attacks metal stuff.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've unfortunately brought that back to your memory, it's going to show up in one of our future games on One Last Die, our sister podcast where we play D&D.
What? Maybe.
plug, and also fuck.
But yeah, that's a good segue as well for the explanation as why Mikey does this.
Mm-hmm. He basically grabs all the sentences throughout a story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ends, or buts, strings them together into a story with sometimes hilarious results. Basically to highlight that there's always better words to use, except when it's dialogue, which is what both of these were. But that's fine.
He doesn't do this for seriousness. He does it for chuckles.
Does it for the bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Gamer, do you have anything for the grammar yellow?
No, but in one of his, I noticed one.
Was that
the reptile thing?
I think Mikey just like said that sentence wrong, or like said the sentence like off because
it's referencing a sentence previously.
Yeah, because like when the way it's said, like the way it should be said is like oh fuck, where is that?
Yeah,
which one is that? Oh, here it is. Found the T-Rex. You remember that T-Rex sounded, what the T-Rex sounded like in that old movie Jurassic Park. It sounded a lot like that, big and reptilian, period. Whereas Mikey was like, it sounded a lot like that, big and reptilian.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he put the comma in the wrong spot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Whereas the story doesn't. It's referencing a previous sentence.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Then no, I have nothing.
Then on to actual thoughts. So I guess I'll start with this here. This is from Special Containment Procedures. For their own safety, no on-site personnel are to approach SCP-354 at any time. Direct interaction with SCP-354 is permitted only for the purpose of research to eliminate SCP-354 and must be approved by O5 personnel. Area 354 was constructed to contain and neutralize any and all further threats emerging from SCP-354. First off, that's a lot of three. I just like realized how much SCP-354 is used. Like, see SCP-354, run! Like, like just I know that's like this is like every SCP entry story, but like I reading it out loud made me realize how much that the designation is used.
Yeah,
in a sentence.
For your knowledge, the 354 is used a total of 69 times.
Nice. So the reason I brought this containment procedure up because like just even from like the get go, like early on into the like reading of this, I could see like the whole setup of this entry, the entry's anomaly and its containment procedure, be ripe for game fodder, especially when we get into into the entities emerging from the pool, like the list of them and stuff like that basically gives you your bestiary of all the entries.
You say that, but I don't know how gameable that specific setting would be, because like the game would be just like living at the compound waiting for something to show up, and then you shoot it, you get XP, level up, and then wait until the next time. Like there's not much to do.
I had a whole thing of why. Maybe this will dissuade you from that way of thinking. So for me, I could easily see a campaign in various horror systems like Delta Green, Esoterrorist, Hell Monster of the Week, where you are the mobile task force responsible for keeping this anomaly contained. With basically have it be like Monster of the Week sort of format, and you having to deal with like what's emerging and figure out how to stop it, like how to deal with it, like have obstacles like that, while trying to keep it under control and keep it out of like public eye. Like you may also have to deal with like, oh, like we've got some hikers or some civilians in the area. We need to like keep away from the area, while also like, oh no, one of the creatures has broken through containment, like through the facility and is out of the facility and out into the public. And then like have the overall end goal or like long-term goal for the campaign be that like leading up to finding some way to stop this anomaly altogether, or have it all end with a TPK. So that's the idea I had for game fodder. Like I got really excited with that. So I'll move on to the next thing. At the heart of Area 354, a 20-foot wall of concrete reinforced with data expunged has been constructed around SCP-354 to prevent emerging entities from escaping into the area at large. So this made me wonder what exactly data expunged material they were using to reinforce the concrete, or like if it's or some extra like protection or some extra like barrier or something like that. Like it made me wonder if maybe it was they're pulling an Attack on Titan move where they're using some of the entities from the blood pool and integrating them into the composition of the concrete structure to like strengthen it against the entities that are emerging from the pool. Or have they perhaps acquired some other exotic material, or even an entity entirely from another SCP entry, or associated material that nullifies the growth or the effects of the pool? So it had me kind of wondering if they're going to go with like a like the sort of a deterrent, or if they found some way of like nullifying or like mitigating some of the effects that the pool has.
They only mentioned the growth of the pool at the very end, though.
Yeah,
no one believes them.
Yeah, that's the only problem with that is, but like it had me wondering why that was data expunged, other than like just to have something redacted.
Just to have something redacted. I mean,
yeah,
they don't want to specify what the material is, just that it's not your standard material.
Fair.
So they're using something that's fucked up that they don't want people to know about.
True.
And you don't have high enough clearance to know what it is.
I may not have the clearance, but I can dream, can't I? No, that's you need to go to the anti-memetic department for what is it? The aestheticization, or basically get your brain expunged.
Get your brain expunged.
They just got a mind flayer on site.
Yep.
But I'll move on to the next thing. Description: SCP-354 is a pool of red liquid discovered in northern Canada. The liquid is a consistency or is of a consistency similar to that of human blood, hence the colloquial name Blood Pond, despite the fact that the title for the SCP on the listings is Red Pool. But
Yep,
I digress.
they do call it a pool
Yeah,
repeatedly,
especially near the end. But yeah, and even like the photo that's associated with like the photo that they found that's like pre SCP Foundation like arrival. It's straight up. It's not a pool like it's a pool in the broadest sense of that word. I like the same way like you can call a pond a pool of water or
yeah, like
liquid.
one of the Great Lakes is a pool.
Yeah, technically, yeah, it's a very large pool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could the ocean's a pool.
Yeah.
Like in that broadest descriptor of the word, or the broadest meaning of the word. Yes, it is a body of water, or it is a body of liquid. But yeah, like it. When I see the image, and when like I see a description of this thing, I do not go to pool. I would go to a pond as a descriptor. But anyway, moving on to the. However, despite it being consistency similar to human blood, it is not of a biological nature. The blood or the pool there it is. There's the first instance I think of it. The pool does not have definite banks. Soil mixes with the liquid until at a certain point there is more soil than liquid, and the ground is mostly solid. Is that not just? I'll stop. Like I was like, is that not just what a shore is? By the definition, when the liquid stops being like the majority, but
no,
yeah, I know.
not.
Yeah. I'm being critically silly with that.
Okay. Speaking of that, though, the description of that and the art of that don't really line up. Because,
No,
like it straight up says that it does not have definite banks, but the art has definite banks on it.
Yeah, like the image that's associated with this is clearly just like it's a pond. Although I could even say that this is probably a creek or something based on like how the water it just like how the liquid goes around a bend. But
it could just wrap around though.
Yeah. But yeah, my senses on this is like obviously like this is a photo that was taken or like they found on the internet, and then somebody just like photoshopped the river pond water red. Which it's effective, but yeah, it's those banks are clearly defined as shore and bank. So yeah.
But yeah, the one way to look at it is basically where the snow is where the blood has been, where it's hard enough to actually catch the snow and not just be absorbed into the blood.
True, yeah.
Because that's basically like the visual I went in with is the image, and then when I read that, I was kind of confused with the definite bank stuff. But yeah, it's basically just in the middle of the pool. It's like really blood. It's just liquid.
Yeah. And
the further you get out, it gets harder and harder and harder until it gets to a point where you can stand on it.
Yeah. Yeah, like much like how blood much like in Iron Lung, the blood ocean like is liquid for like a lot of it, but then like at the bottom and like around the edges, I guess, it congeals and it starts kind of like becoming like solidifying a little bit more, or becomes a little bit more cohesive.
Yeah. So like when it gets hard, there might be 5-10 feet of it still being the same liquid, but it's hard, and then it transitions to the normal dirt.
Yeah. And then the other part of this description before I go into my comments here is the liquid becomes denser, like we were talking about, becomes denser as one descends deeper into the pool. If the pool has a bottom, it has not been reached. And I was like, okay, I think I understand now why Markiplier in his Let's Play of Iron Lung thought this SCP entry was the inspiration for the lunar blood oceans in that game. Also, game fodder returning. What if this is where the previous campaign idea leads? So like the players having to take a submersible, likely as D-class characters, but perhaps even there's an emergency that forces like non-D-class personnel to like take the plunge into in a submersible to reach some spot below the surface that could be the key to eliminating the threat. Now, bear in mind, I wrote this before I dove into the expeditionary document. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I was on the right track on that.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next thing I have here, at 14:03 hours on redacted, an unidentified entity emerged from SCP-354. Contact with Watch Station Epsilon 38 was lost. Mobile Task Force redacted was dispatched to deal with the entity and were eventually successful. All personnel at Watch Station Epsilon 38 were found dead. Area 355 was subsequently constructed to contain SCP-354. Son of game fodder. What if the opening game or a prequel to the previous campaign idea was set during the first contact with the newly emerging entity of the pool before they set up the containment? I'm basically saying like this entire I could like pull bits and pieces throughout this game, throughout this entry, and just like use that as like the jumping off point for a campaign for game scenarios or campaigns.
I assume the first one would be a one shot and everyone dies because that's what happens.
Well, yeah, or like you're playing as the mobile task force redacted, who's like going in because like Watch Station Epsilon 38 has gone dark, and then you're basically encountering the entity that killed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it's referenced earlier that the survivors of the crashed airplane discovered the pool and that urban legends have sprung up prior to SCP Foundation intervention. So again, another game scenario even further back where you're playing not as SCP Foundation members, you're playing as civvies or like regular people that were like maybe in an airplane crash in the mountains of the Canadian North, and you've stumped on top of having to deal with surviving from like an airplane crash. Oh no, you've also come across this horrible like abnormal like anomaly abomination, or also you could play as characters who are like just in the local area that have heard the urban legends, so you guys decide to go hiking out into the woods to see what if you can find this thing, and you find it, and one of the entities pops out early, hence basically turning it into a slasher scenario where you have to deal with like some horrible thing that's come out of the blood pool.
And
then the next thing I have is basically like it's the document 3541-A, which is a partial log of entities that have emerged from the SCP-354 anomaly prior to events of 354-20. So yeah, the more I was reading the list, the more it feels like the source or pool of the entity or of these entities is actually just like testing the waters of its confinement. So like as it goes, I got the sense, like as I kept reading each entry like in succession, I started kind of getting this like not like a concrete idea, but like just this sort of feeling that like each entity was an upgrade or like a refined version of the previous entity's iteration. Like the pool, if it is creating these things, is trying out different variables of how it can escape containment or like breach containment. And speaking of that, with SCP-354-3, which is a black metallic sphere capable of levitation, emitted concentrated levels of radiation in precisely directed beams sufficient to instantly cripple and later result in death. Then area head, Dr. Redacted, struck SCP-354-3 with a sledgehammer, disabling it. SCP-354-3 then self-detonated, causing minor structural damage and severely wounding Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted made a full recovery and has been commended for his bravery. So I really liked this interaction, or this descriptor and stuff like that, because the idea of the head scientist, or like the area head, which I'm envisioning in my head a lab coat, maybe under some like armored vest, and this guy wielding a sledgehammer going toe to toe with an SCP entity, which is ballsy as hell.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I don't think he was a scientist because like he is basically the like administrator that just like keeps everything going.
Yeah, like he is a doctor, but it's probably not like he's not a lab doctor precisely.
Yeah,
he
well,
maybe
maybe I don't know.
He might just have a doctorate in something.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like the supervisorial thing. But honestly, like goddamn, like the cojones on that man.
Yep.
or it's like, but yeah, I'm glad Dr. Redacted got recognition and made a full recovery from that because so many of these staff members and employees don't make it after dealing with an entity.
Mm-hmm.
So and then we have this thing here. This is 354-16, one of the other creatures. Feline creature composed of a dark red-black stone, later revealed to be partially solidified magma. Gunfire proved mostly ineffective against its hide. Was not hostile to personnel and did not attempt to escape the walled enclosures until being engaged by SCP-354-15, which is sort of a similar creature, except it was composed of ice, or of like a blue ice-like material. Successfully terminated SCP-354-15 and grew less active as its body cooled. After fully solidifying and having remained motionless since, subject was moved to Dr. Redacted's office for aesthetic purposes. Okay. Two things here.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's my second thing. First thing, though, interesting that there was an entity that emerged that was antithetical to the previous entity, and its behavior. To this is like its behavior and nature, since it is an entity of the pool. And then Dr. Redacted, worst idea ever to even if this thing was inert, this entity should not be classified as safe in any means.
No, I don't know.
Now, this could be the actual true tactic of this entity for escaping. Kills another entity, goes inert so as to appear dead, and when its would-be handlers let their guard down, i.e., put it into his office, it's now been converted into a statue. When no one's looking, fucking become active and escape.
Yep.
But yeah, that is like, if this is the same Dr. Redacted from like the previous one, it's like maybe he suffered a head injury from dealing with the previous SCP entity.
Or he just thinks he's invincible now.
Yeah, maybe that too. Yeah, like that seems like a really, like you said, like stupid idea to not have this thing in like containment on its own, like in another containment cell, and just monitor it. Like don't have it like unprotected in your office because it's aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, how big were they? Did it say?
It doesn't really say. It just says feline creature composed of. Yeah, it doesn't really give us a
because it's small enough to be put in an office. First off,
yeah. So like it could have been like a small like. I was about to say a small big cat, but you know what I mean. Like
it's probably maximum the size of a bear. Because like you've seen some of those like statues or like wood carvings of like bears up on their hind legs. Like that's probably the biggest it's going to be. That's what I was kind of thinking. It was like that, or yeah. I doubt it was like a house cat because like it also makes the fact that like this creature and the ice version were causing such a problem by being like a house cat sized thing. It's like, wow, like this is absurd, but then again, like it's also SCP, so like sometimes the absurd can be terrifying. It did say it was agile enough to dodge most gunfire.
Yeah, so but like that could still be a panther, or like it still could be like panther size with that. Yeah. But I'm just now picturing like a domestic house cat sized creature just like causing mass mayhem in a facility.
Yeah. Seems like a thing a cat would do for sure.
Yeah. But I'll move on to the next thing here. This is a note from Area Head Dr. Redacted. That's thrice now that we've had to fall back on Pandora's box to deal with stuff coming out of SCP-354. Abel can't complain, though. You can tell he's enjoying fighting SCP-354-11. Maybe we should set up some kind of hotline to MTF Omega 7. So I was like, okay, cool. So Abel and the rest of Pandora's Box, i.e. Mobile Task Force Omega 7, are this mobile task force of the SCP Foundation that utilizes humanoid SCP objects or entities for their operations against groups of interest and anomalies, which is what I found when I... So, yeah, his name is... so SCP 06 or 076 is known as Abel. And I did like... I brushed down on his entry, but like, we're going to have to cover it at some point because the rabbit hole goes ever deeper. He's essentially the Doom guy, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so later in the exploratory document, they bring him up again and saying like, I wanted Mobile Task Force Omega 7 to come with us for protection, or at least SCP-076, but they won't allow it. Yeah. So I only briefly read through that entry, but it seems like the guy wakes up, looks for another human, and starts killing all the humans he can see. So how is he friend?
I'm guessing that the SCP Foundation has either found a way to direct his hostility, or has maybe like there is a whole like other like link or that I looked up on like Mobile Task Force Omega 7, i.e. Pandora's Box. So there must have been some kind of an agreement or some kind of like contingency on like how to direct this human war machine.
Yeah, I did only browse over, like I said, so I didn't. Yeah. I do not have all the information by any means. Yeah,
and the reason I say like it sounds like he's the Doom guy is because like he's -2 on 076. -1 is a large stone cube, and inside is actually like is Abel's sarcophagus, which is etched in a bunch of like runes and like archaic symbols and such. And yeah, this guy basically just like occasionally comes out of the sarcophagus, hunts down the first humanoid thing he can find, or I guess like fights entities from that they direct him toward, and then they put him down, and then he regenerates later on.
Yeah, he's totally fine with just being shot by his allies.
I guess so. He's got superhuman strength and like reanimating capabilities. So, again, that's probably for another episode we'll have to cover, because like that one also seems kind of lengthy. But yeah, reading like a little bit about him and like him being like mentioned in this one is just like the rabbit hole delves ever deeper with SCP Foundation. We will never be able to cover cover everything that the SCP Foundation gives us. And then I've got my notes for the exploratory missions. So regarding exploratory mission 354 Alpha, I noticed that there are no timestamps on the first few personal logs of Dr. Redacted. Like not even a redaction of them, which I felt was kind of odd, especially how like the other one, like as we go further down with the expedition logs, they have like day 1, day 2, 13, what have you. So it just feels kind of weird that the first two logs, which are personal logs, don't have any kind of like like timestamp or date, even redacted.
It's all a log of the exploratory mission, so anything before the exploratory mission doesn't matter. It's just set up to go on the mission. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah. It did kind of bug me a little bit though, but
fair.
I get it. And then this is from the second personal log of Dr. Redacted. The final crew complement, apart from myself, consists of 3 agents, 2 D-class personnel, 1 geologist, and some guy from R&D who's going to pilot the ship. I already forgot all of their names. I was like, wow. So assuming this is still Dr. I mean, we don't know who this Dr. Redacted is. Like, this may be the area head. I doubt it, that we were mentioned earlier. But I was like, wow, this guy's like, so they are going to use non-D class members for the sub. That's kind of crazy that they are actually willing to risk regular staff members. Also, this guy just like forgetting all their names, like, and like his attitude as it goes on is like, man, this guy kind of sucks.
Yeah, he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this isn't the area head Dr. Redacted that we heard in the previous one. But then we have mission log day 2. Nothing of interest happened, but I learned everyone's names.
Wow, good job, buddy.
We have Marty, our pilot, Agent Swanson, Agent Turquoise, Agent 86, Dr. J. MacArthur, Chris Simmons, and Leroy Tucker. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Yeah, this is just like, again, adding on to like, man, this guy kind of sucks. But yeah, I like how we get everyone else's name but Dr. Redacted.
Yeah, of course.
Also, guess these folks all have like a few days to retirement.
Pretty much.
I suspect or expect at this point, as I'm reading and writing down my notes, that they're all going to perish, and like, because they've all been named. It's like giving them red shirts. But yeah, and then I'll move on to the next thing I have, which is in day 3. At about 4:30 a.m., gravity suddenly changed direction. Boy, that was a fun way to wake up. We're now rising rather than sinking, which means we're more than halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer.
Yo.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Fair, you are a bard.
But also, honestly, with SCP, that it just seemed very. It seems like a very prudent statement, because they're all living on a prayer. Like, you work for the SCP Foundation, you got to be living on a prayer, because the mortality rate for this job or this employment cannot be terribly low.
When I read that it switched gravity all of a sudden, at first I'm like, okay, so were they drilling so far that like they've passed through the center of the Earth without going through the molten core or something? Which I was like, okay, impossible, but okay. But that being said, I don't know how much us as people know for certain what is in the core of the planet. Like, we haven't drilled all the way down there and put a camera, So
No.
for all we know, this could work.
Well, yeah, we kind of do have a sign, like, they're not like, again, we've never actually done it, but we do have a kind of a good idea from like scientific, I guess, theorization and like some like non like material evidence. Like, we know that like we have a surface and then there's like a liquid mantle between us and the core, and then the core is likely a solid iron core.
Likely, but they don't know.
No, I don't.
They don't know
for
it for all we know, made of blood.
Yes, yeah, of course. Like, and there might even be pocket. Oh, actually, I think more recently they've started postulating that there are actually potential pocket, like under the earth, like oceans or like pockets of liquid water, in like closer to the mantle and such. But yeah.
But yeah, either way, that was before it seemed like they went through another dimension, because they drill and then like we don't really know what actually happened one way or another.
Yeah, true.
Because like,
but they're not drilling.
Yeah, they aren't technically drilling. Well, they
straight up said there's a drill on the front of the sub.
Yeah,
they are drilling
to carve through the congealing denser material as they go down. But yeah, it's they're sink drilling.
Absolutely.
In that they're letting gravity take them, but they have a drill at the front of the sub to allow them to like start like paving a way through the more gelatinous, more like thicker material. So
they do still have an engine though, because when gravity shifts, you have to use the engine to go back up.
True. Yeah, they're not just suddenly starting to float.
It's not a brick with a drill on it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way. That's it.
Okay. Move on to day 11. So MacArthur took out some equipment and after a few minutes announced that it was not water, but liquid carbon dioxide. CO2 is usually a gas at this temperature, and it's never a liquid. The laws of physics don't seem to be working right. So yeah, this is like when they're hiking out, and basically like exploring the alien landscape, and they come across this river of liquid carbon dioxide. And honestly, between this and the other details that are mentioned in other logs about this alien world that the red pool seems to link to, I really like the strange and just outer details encountered in this exploration. It really highlights the alien nature of this place. In a way, it sort of reminds me of like exoplanet exploration or even gate crashing in Eclipse Phase, the tabletop RPG. I could see using that system and its alien Pandora gates mechanic to run something inspired by this, or like based off of like this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Game fodder's revenging.
There is a lot of game fodder options in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were first drilling through, honestly, and they popped up on the other side,
yeah.
I wasn't sure. I didn't think they went into another world or another dimension or something. At first, I'm like, okay, so is all of this just inside the Earth and we don't know about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's that? What's the word for that?
The Hollow Earth theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Hollow Earth, or the Dyson sphere.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Or like like where like it's according to some conspiracy theories and like urban legends and even like ancient legends, the Earth is hollowed out and there's actually like a surface around on the inside. Like basically it takes the whole idea, it removes the whole idea of like there being a mantle and like a core, and has it that like there's actually just an inner world within our own world. And like the core, like in the center of the Earth, there's just a sun, like a small star or some kind of other like heat and light source that like is able to keep life going in that subterranean realm. So
isn't that also what's going on in like the Godzilla and King Kong movies?
Yes, yeah, the Godzilla and King, like the American like legendary Godzilla movies, like the MonsterVerse franchise, delves into the whole Hollow Earth theory by having it like it's sort of up in the air. It's like both in our world, like it's both physically inside the Earth and also like in a parallel dimension. Like
great.
That space is just like really weird. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but they make it make sense because of like wormhole technology and stuff, or wormhole phenomena, not technology. And that's also explains why like Godzilla is able to like just like appear anywhere on the oceans, because like there's like these wormholes on the bottom of the ocean that he can just like access to from the Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to. I just used the carbon dioxide river as like one example. I didn't want to go into like mention all of them because there's a bunch of logs that reference different weird things that they encounter. But yeah, just like I really enjoyed that aspect of the story where just like you're reading these documents as they're exploring this alien world. Then the next thing I have is actually day 14. Leroy detonated. Leroy donated his tent to Agent 86. This is after like a tree came down on Agent 86's tent and destroyed it beyond repair. And I offered to share mine, since it's a little bigger than the other guys. I asked Leroy what he did to wind up as a D-class. He said he raped a couple of people. I think he might have been trying to freak me out, but who knows? Anyway, he's one of the most well-behaved D-class I've ever met. So I don't think he's going to, say, assault me in my sleep. There's a lot to unpack here. First off, so this is like referring to like they encounter like these weird trees, and like they even comment like one crashes down on 86's tent, and he says like, oh, it's way closer than it should have been. Like it was much farther when I set up my tent and such. So I was like, oh yeah, trees are totally moving organisms. Like they're definitely some kind of alien like that's walking around. Like they just uproot and walk around or something.
Yeah.
But that's my bet. Calling it now. Probably connected to that T-Rex roar phenomena that we heard about earlier. And
It's
definitely
also possible that the land that they're on shifts as well.
That could also be it too.
It just shifted closer to the tree, and because it was shifting and the ground was loose, it kind of like weakened the tree and it fell.
Yeah. Also, right before this, Swanson goes missing. And on the subject of Swanson, Swanson going missing. Guy went missing in an 8-hour window where no one was talking and just hiking.
Yeah, the line is, at some point we lost Swanson. This place is so quiet, none of us really felt comfortable talking, so we had no idea we lost him. I read that, I'm like, wow, guys, wow.
For 8 hours.
Yeah, first off, you guys are pretty dumb to just lose someone and like talk about it so nonchalantly, like they don't give a shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, secondly, like, why aren't these guys terrified that something just silently picked off the guy at the back?
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe it is like maybe this like we're just kind of getting like sort of like subtle notes that like the environment here is affecting them. In basically making them dumber. Oh my god, is this the origin of Derpland?
Yeah, it's a portal to Derpland.
It's a portal to either Derpland itself, or this is what's bleeding into the actual world and creating the state of Derpland.
Yes, these are the Derp lands.
Yeah, this is Derp world.
Derpscape, sorry.
Yeah, Derpscape. Yes, Derpscape. This is the Derpscape. Yeah, absolutely. Oh god. But yeah, no, just like I was getting the feeling that like maybe like that's like part of the creepiness of this is like the alien landscape and the silent nature of this place is like starting to get to their heads, like starting to affect them. And we're seeing that in their reports. Also, one down for my earlier comment about them all dying now that they've been named.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Dr. Redacted here was starting to win me back over with like sharing his tent until Leroy's bit of like the reason why he was a D class and Dr. Redacted just being like kind of nonchalant about that. Overall, I am digging the eerie dread that's hiking up now. Seem like I was taking it less of like being them being derpy for no reason, and like I was reading it more as like the environment is affecting them somehow psychologically, and so like putting them into a false state of security, maybe even. Until something more dramatic happens, like they are worried about the Swanson going missing, but they're not worried enough.
Also, all we know is from the logs of Dr. Idiot, who doesn't seem to give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
So,
and even from the beginning,
for all we know, everyone else is freaking out that Swanson's gone, and he just writes down that, oh yeah, by the way, we lost him. Anyways.
Yep, exactly. And then we reach day 26. This is when they encounter the wall. Leroy jury-rigged some kind of blowtorch thing with our equipment. I swear this guy is fucking MacGyver.
What he does in his personal time
is his business. Yeah, touche. We cut a hole in the iron wall big enough for us to go through. It turns out it's only about 1/4 of an inch thick, but there is another wall behind it with less than a foot between. Apparently, this thing has multiple layers. Leroy cut through 8 of them before we finally made it to the other side. The grass on this side is black, not burnt or anything, just that it's just a different color. And finally, there's some wind. I was getting tired of data corrupted. Concluded that coming here was a mistake. We have to turn back. Yeah, as soon as they started cutting through the wall, I was getting nervous about what's the wall what's the wall's purpose here? Like, why is the wall here? And they're just willy-nilly cutting through it. Like,
well, you see, it's the wall that the SCP Foundation of the alternate universe created to keep the the pond contained.
Yeah, weird monsters coming from this side. I kind of like that. I kind of think that would be really fun if like there's like they look like horrible aliens and like monstrosities to us, but that's just their SCP Foundation. Like it's like a parallel universe where like instead of humans, it's eldritch abominations that are freaked out about us.
And to them, they're like, "Oh, there's these weird like pink things coming out here with these like, and they're armed. They have guns."
Oh God, there's these like short, stubby, like slender, like like you said, like they've got 2 legs. Get away!
That's not right.
They're made of flesh, not elements like us sometimes. But yeah, I was getting like a really cool, like a really cool, creepy feeling here with like because of all this, and I'm getting this nagging dread as I was reading the story that they should have headed back to the sub. They have been out here far too long. It's like been almost a month since they trekked out away from the sub. I was just like that was like also kind of concerning me that like the logs kept going. But in a good way, just in a way that like, oh, that's fucking creepy. Like, or that why are they still hiking?
It's one of the things I hated, honestly.
I mean, it's
just like, why did they have to go so fucking far? Like, as far as I'm concerned, they could have just drilled down, popped out the other side, checked to see if there's air. Is there air? Okay, let's try breathing it. Yeah, that's air. Like after they did the test or whatever. And then walk north. And then as soon as their compass changed, like, nope, we're going back. Get back in the sub. We're going back and we're going to report what's here and come back prepared. See, that's what, like, it's an exploratory mission, like, to see what's there. Like, you go back and report it. You don't stay for a fucking month and a half.
And I do get what you're saying. Like, it normally, yes, absolutely. But the way I was kind of interpreting it, like the reading and like I was kind of getting like I was fine with them just keep going, is because I was starting to feel like that's like intentional. Like there's something in the area affecting them that's making them keep going until it's too late.
I guess, but I feel like there should have been something in one of these logs saying like, I felt like we should really go back. Like it was our job to go back after exploring X amount of kilometers, but we just decided that we wanted to keep going. Like something even subtle like that, but it's just like, no, we're going. Like this was the plan. We're going to stay out here and go for as long as we can. That seems like that was the plan, which seems dumb.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're writing this kind of thing and like having that kind of like having somebody be influenced, you can add like something subtle like that, like have like, and I agree, like that could help clarify if this was that way or if it was intentional or if this is just absurd. But sometimes a writer will actually make it like, we'll just go like have it set up where like they keep going and don't address it, and leave it to the audience as to whether it was intentional or not. So
I guess, but as far as I can tell from reading, from the start of the exploration mission entry to the end, he sounds exactly the same. Same amount of sanity, same everything. He doesn't seem like he's been influenced at all.
Fair. I mean, that is sometimes how sanity degrades, though. Like you still act fine, but you're not. Yeah. And I'm not trying to purposely like fight you on this. Like obviously you saw it differently than I did. So like we do have different opinions on these kind of things sometimes. So it's just personally that's like my take on it versus yours. So
yep.
And then the next thing, this is with day 40. We awoke to find that MacArthur had crossed. It's kind of a weird way of saying that somebody died.
Is that what he meant? We didn't want to do it, but we had
die.
no chance but to terminate him. So
yeah, you're right. No, he crossed. Yeah. I guess either he crossed as in he died, or like because they put him down, or he crossed in that he turned somehow and they had put him down.
Yeah, because there's so much. There's days worth of corrupted stuff, so we don't know what happened.
Yeah. And then 86 said that something back home might be able to help him, and he may have been right, but we couldn't afford to have him slow us down. We only have a few more days until data corrupted. A48. Wow, 8 days. We made it back to the ship with only an hour or two to spare. The first thing they asked us was what the fuck happened to Swanson, Turquoise, MacArthur, and 86. So was it only Leroy and Redacted?
Yep.
As if a few dead team members are our biggest problem right now. Marty has us underway, and we're definitely sinking. I just hope they don't data corrupted end log. And then it goes into like the document was discovered in the Central Foundation database. However, no one recalls that expedition ever being proposed or even happening, and no one exists from it. And to me, again, this is like my own personal like opinion on this is like, wow, I love the use of escalating corrupted data. For me, it made it feel like I was reading a found footage transcript. Like this is the kind of like vibe I love in a found footage horror film where like you're not getting all the details. Like that's what ramps up the horror. Just like horrible things, like things are doing okay, and then things start like it cuts away to suddenly like the footage getting interrupted by newer footage and everything's gone to hell. And then it cuts again and something's going even worse to hell. And then I love that kind of vibe in a found footage film, and that's kind of what this transcript, these logs kind of felt to me as.
Yeah, they did for sure.
And I guess so like when I first started reading this whole like log, I had thought this was the same Dr. Redacted from the previous, but I guess I was wrong because this character, because Area Head Dr. Redacted exists and this Dr. Redacted does not. So
what, did he not make it back?
Well, it seems like none of the characters in this log it says like no record of any personnel mentioned in this log exist. The log's origin is unknown, and the fact that this is in an SCP archive, and no such expedition occurred is, to me, I think that is it's on par for the course of an SCP Foundation anomaly or archive thing, because cosmic horror, because we're dealing with like cosmic horrors and eldritch abominations and reality warping things and gaslighting from a systemic level and a cosmic level. So like, who's to say this log is in the right version of reality's archives? Like, for all we know, like they're traveling through some kind of rift or some kind of portal or something, or at the bottom of that pool to another place. Who's to say they end up in the right version of Earth?
But that's the thing. They didn't. None of this happened. This whole entry ends with "it was all a dream."
It wasn't.
None of it happened. No mission was to explore SCP-354 has yet to been suggested or approved. No one even thought of it, and no one approved it. No records of any of the personnel mentioned in this log exist. None of these people are real. None of this happened.
Except that the document exists in official SCP Foundation archives.
Exactly. So the Blood Ocean, I'm so used to saying Blood Ocean because of Iron Lung. The Blood Pond, we know it has psychic abilities, basically. Mm-hmm. So it basically just mindfuckled some guy to write this down, and he didn't even realize he did it. And basically, this is the Blood Pond putting out information. This information might be factual for all we know. It might be giving us information of what's down there to basically tell the humans, this is what it's like down here. You don't need to come down here. Stay the fuck away.
And you see, I like that.
I know.
Personally, I'm totally down with that because, like, this is like after this document, we continue reading the rest of the entry, and we start getting into like the fact that like a bunch of D class and the staff members at the facility that were keeping the SCP entry like contained went like they seemed to become enthralled by the pool and like disobeyed orders and such. So like I really like that. as something to exist, like, so like, whereas like usually like, oh, it was just a dream would sometimes pisses me off. In this case it doesn't, because it gives me a hint of something sinister afoot that's still connected to the SCP entry. But yeah, I'll move on to the next thing, which is after the expedition document, with which is a note from area head Dr. Redacted, that followed after the linked document 354-3A. And this is either the red pool has died or powered down, or whatever the correct term for it is, or it is charging up for something big to come through. O5 believes the former is the most likely explanation, and has recalled 30% of our total personnel and cut 25% of our funding. While I can only hope that they are correct, if the latter situation is true, we're soon to face some terrible monstrosity, and we don't have anywhere near the force necessary to deal with it. I worry for all of our safeties. And again, this is the same area head doctor that took on some SCP entries from before. Man, this guy's like, again, warming myself up a bit. Like, he is worried about his teammates and stuff, and like the world. I also really like how this shows like kind of the Foundation's systemic thinking of, oh, the danger's past, or it's passing. Like, there hasn't been a ton of there haven't been any more threats since these incidences. We need to reallocate assets. And just like how many disaster films and kaiju films I've seen, and even in reality, like people like Foundation, support systems and so that in government that get like their funds reallocated because like nothing like super bad has happened, or just because of like government changes and such. And then a major emergency happens or a major disaster happens, and we really could have used that that funding, or we really could have used that support. It really just shows, like, again, not only like a cosmic horror or like an eldritch horror of this entity, it also just shows the systemic horror of the Foundation just reallocating funds and assets because nothing has really happened in a while for this entity. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm getting to the end, I swear, guys. I'm sorry.
I don't believe you.
It's fair. This is from Document 354-4, Event Log 354-20. So, you know how I was just saying earlier about like Dr. Redacted's like I really like how worried he is about like the fact that they're getting like defunded and such. Mobile Task Force Theta 12 was dispatched to investigate the cause of the evacuation and, if possible, make contact with area staff. However, before MTF Theta 12 could make contact with Area 354 or its evacuees, the area's on-site warhead was detonated, resulting in the destruction of the entire facility and the deaths of data expunged. It's like, well, Dr. Redacted did kind of warn everybody in his previous note. So, yeah. And then we get the thing of like like the staff and D class members they fled the facility before detonating the warhead. They also like fought back against the Mobile Task Force and wiped them out before kind of going off the grid, basically, and the Foundation still hasn't like been able to recover them.
I imagine that to be like a cool firefight from vehicles.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they're
exactly.
driving away and all like their shit, and they're just shooting back at them.
Yeah, very expendable. I'm picturing like something out of the Expendables a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's crazy that like there's now just this like new group of interest made up of former SCP personnel and D class. Maybe like they're still in the thrall of the red pool, as document 354-5 theorizes. That it has some kind of like psychic or psychological effect on the people that were working at the facility. I don't know if there is a group of interest or any further material about those that survived and haven't been caught yet, but I kind of want there to be. Like, there is a cult, like there could be this like cult, the Red Pool now, dedicated to one day freeing this SCP from its containment or spreading its influence even further. So some names, if there is anything out there, here's my proposal for some of the names. For this group of interest, they could be called Knights of the Red Queen, the Coagulated Coalition,
Nice.
Ordo Sanguis, for like the Latin, like the old school Latin stuff, or the Bloods. Wait, isn't that already a real gang?
Yeah, don't go with that one. No.
Yeah. But yeah, just some ideas. Like maybe I'll dig a little bit deeper and actually and see if there is any group of interest that has spawned as a result of this entry, or perhaps maybe I'll do some of my own SCP writing. Maybe this is going to be like my foyer into SCP, is writing some stuff about the this cult of the blood.
Also known as the pool party.
That was another one I thought of, but I left it out of my notes.
It's too stupid. I have to leave it out.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Or what's the people that are in charge of like pool security, or like making sure like people like are
the
fine?
Lifeguards.
Yeah.
Or the
bloody lifeguards. The pool noodles.
Well, they did run away.
That's true. Yeah. Bunch of noodles. Yeah, at the very least, it would be a really good enemy group or cult for a horror scenario. Again, got to get that game fodder in.
They're not even necessarily enemies. They could just want to be left alone. Like, I don't want to work for SCP anymore. I don't want to be at the pool anymore. I'm living out by myself. Like, all of us are living together, just out in the middle of nowhere. Leave us the fuck alone.
Okay, so I see two game ideas for that, actually. Two scenario ideas. One, you're playing as these guys that are on the lam from basically your ex SCP Foundation. Probably use Delta Green or something for this, and you're trying to the threat isn't like Eldritch, it's the system.
Yeah,
it's the Foundation after you. So like you're it's basically a reverse Delta Green game, or a reverse like standard horror scenario where usually you're working for the Foundation or working for a government agency. In this one, you're against them and you're trying to live your own best lives. And the other one is that you are still playing agents for the Foundation, hunting down this cult, I do in quotes. And then when you finally discover them, you discover that they aren't contaminated. Like, as far as you can tell, they aren't actually doing anything to like try and promote the blood pool. They're just trying to live their best lives. But the Foundation has given you conflicting orders that they are. Like, they've given you conflicting information. So basically, like, who do you trust? Do you continue following orders, or do you break off? Like, is that
join the nudes? These are the noodles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it took me a second to realize. Yeah. Oh, geez. So golly me. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got there for that. Also, I like getting back to my notes here. I like how in the next document, the Foundation has placed a new facility on the site, effectively suggesting that the tactical nuke wasn't even enough to stop the thing. It was just all it did was basically just like got rid of the old facility. That's all it did.
It could have also like made it more of a crater, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it just made it wider.
Well, yeah, because like the original image, it's just a forest there, but now it's a crater that has blood in the middle.
Yeah, it's
probably more of a circular blood pool now because of the blast.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were actually able to like build a proper like pool, hence why it's now called the Red Pool. Yeah, I was kind of envisioning, like, recently, like, they've come out with like trailers for like the next Resident Evil game, and where you see like the nuke crater of Raccoon City like decades later, from the events of the first couple of games. And yeah, that's all I could kind of envision is like what happened to the location of the Red Pool is just like all that forest and all that, it's gone. It's just a big old crater, like a Tunguska blast.
Yep, just with some red in the middle.
Yep. And then we have the document 354-6, which is the interview with Agent Redacted and Dr. Redacted. This is my last thing, guys, I promise. So I'm just going to go from Agent and Doctor. So Agent Redacted. The pool, Dr. Redacted. Please, I ask you to lower your voice. Agent. Up until now, it's been content just throwing monsters at us. It's just been playing. But now we have it locked up, and we just tried to execute it. Now it's angry. Dr. Redacted to PA. Guards, please restrain Agent Redacted. Agent Redacted. My buddy measured its banks once and compared them to the photos from its first discovery. You know what he found? Agent Redacted grabs Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted. Guards! Agent Redacted. It's growing. The pool is growing. It's getting bigger and stronger every day, and now we've made it angry. Get your hands off. Dr. Redacted. Sedate him. We'll continue this in the morning if he's lucid by then anyway. And that's the end of the entry in the interview. And I love how this entry just ends on the note that the pool was just having fun throwing monsters at the SCP Foundation. But now that it's getting serious when the Foundation tries to actually kill it. I believe my speculation early on that it was testing the Foundation and its defenses with its monsters still rings true, perhaps, here. Just on a little bit more, like, obviously, like, Agent Redacted is a little bit more maybe a little bit unhinged as a result of his experience with the of working at the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it may not be necessarily playing, but like that's just how he's interpreting it. But I do like that, like, it's like that. It's like the pool, like, is like been throwing things at it, and then now that the SCP Foundation, all right, we're gonna drain the pool and kill it, and it's just like, let's get serious now. Up until this point, I've just been having fun. But now now you've left me no choice. It's time to bring in the big guns.
Which is interesting because that means that draining the pool actually would damage it and hurt it.
True.
Like, they finally figured out its one weakness. Like, okay, no, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You can't know.
And the fact that it psychically stopped the entire staff of the Foundation, of that facility, not the Foundation, but of that facility, from hitting the button to drain it.
Mm.
Like, they were able to get the tubes in and like all that stuff, but nobody could actually like flip the switch or hit the button.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. Again, just like the kind of the dread of the existential dread of like what this thing is capable of.
Yeah.
Also, I like the progression of this entity and its containment. Like, over the course of this entry and the documents, we see it evolving, and the Foundation has to play catch up with it. There's this nice back and forth between like what the creature, what the entity does, and how the Foundation reacts to it, and just keeps going, like, building off of that. Also, this document furthers the transcript's found footage vibe that I was getting from the previous couple of, like, the expeditionary document. So that was just as fun for me, just to read this interview and like find out more dreadful things about what this thing is capable of. So, But that is the end of my notes. I'm so sorry, guys, for putting you all through that.
You should be.
So, Mikey, the stands for evil. What have you got?
All right. So I'll start my notes with the growing section. So the guy says like it's growing, and compared to previous pictures, well, they exploded a nuke
Yeah, that's
It's going to look different either way, and I mean, it could just be that it's spread out a bit more because of the nuke.
That's true. Yeah.
that was one thing that I did like realize. I do like when he says that. It's like they compared it to photos from its first discovery. I was like,
They're treating it like the blood lake, the blood pond itself. Its borders never changed after getting hit by a nuke, and after all the combat that's happened around it.
Yeah, and all the construction that's probably been like built, like they probably built like structures around it and such.
Mm-hmm.
Now maybe that is like the nuke goes off, and then when the debris, or when the cloud dissipates, maybe it is still like the same. It would because again, it is an SCP anomaly. Like it breaks the laws of they break the laws of physics all the time.
It should say that though.
Yeah, it honestly absolutely should. Like the warhead, it should at least be like a thing of in that document where it's talking about like the warhead being detonated, or like an addendum where it's like it should be noted that after the detonation, the site was found identical to how it was first discovered, save for like the debris from the buildings and at the facility itself. But yeah, that is sort of a plot hole, I think. That like the photos that were being compared.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the whole pond itself, or the pool, say, because they don't say pond.
Yeah.
Do they not say pond ever?
No, they say pond at the blood pond at the beginning, but then they start referring to it as the pool like afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so when it started spawning monsters and whatnot, I was like, well, that's kind of interesting, and I found it kind of hilarious that they built a wall that was how high was it?
20.
Oh yeah, 20. Yeah,
20 feet, and then the next thing is like a 50-foot lizard came out or something like that.
Yeah, it's 15.
Oh, is it 50? Like, okay. Okay, yeah, because like Paul's just like, oh, you're gonna build a 20-foot wall, are you? Hold my beer.
You say that, but I feel like a 15-foot creature could probably reach up and grab the top and pull itself up.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
especially with jumping.
Yeah. I got kind of a Pacific Rim vibe. Actually, I think another thing is from like this SCP, and like the fact that like the fortifications of like keeping it at bay, like, but
well, the whole watchtower sort of description with the wall, it made me think of Jurassic Park with the T-Rex or not the T-Rex, the raptor enclosure.
Yeah, that too.
Like we got watchtowers on the corners, and we just drop a cow in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. We just that's how they dropped the sub in. The same kind of like conveyor, like that, like the cow in Jurassic Park. Also, did anybody else just get hit in like the age when the one dog was like that old movie Jurassic Park is like
It's weird that he specifically has to say that old movie. Like everyone knows what Jurassic Park is.
I mean, yes, but like maybe not. Like I saw where like I was also on like on that side. I was like, okay, look, everyone knows Jurassic Park, but it's like, oh, maybe not everybody knows Jurassic Park. Like I started like doubting myself when I started thinking that.
The fact that there have been sequels recently.
Okay,
means that everyone knows of Jurassic Park.
Any kid growing up that says I love dinosaurs, their parents show them Jurassic Park at some point.
You're not wrong.
And considering most, at least male children, love dinosaurs at some point in their lives.
In the Western Hemisphere.
Yes. Everyone over here, as a kid, loves dinosaurs at some point.
If you don't, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me you have a favorite dinosaur. You have to. Mikey, favorite dinosaur, go.
The
You're starting to fail me here.
the Triceratops. There we go.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Cultist. I know yours, but go ahead.
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
I thought I knew it.
I mean, T-Rex is a close second, but like Stegosaurus, hands down.
You also talk about raptors a lot too.
Yeah, look, man, I have a tier list.
Oh, okay,
I am remember, underneath this hood, I am the Dino Man.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's a Kylosaur for me. Okay, let's move on.
Wow, that went way less smooth than you thought you were expecting that to go.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Mikey, go. Oh, Mikey, favorite dinosaur.
Yeah. And then, honestly, I didn't really care for much of the SCP-354 entry. Just because, it's a monster spawner. And whoop-de-doo, it's growing ever slowly in the Canadian North. But when we get the exploratory mission, that's when we get a story of things happening.
Yeah.
Which I like to see. So this actually reminded me more of Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah.
Type thing where people go underground and then find a whole another world underneath the surface.
A whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes.
So that was... I like that aspect of it, and then the weird stuff going on is very sci-fi in nature, which I approve.
Yeah.
So... And these are my actual thoughts.
Okay. Gamer.
Okay, let's see what I got left. So, back up at the start, it says direct interaction with SCP-354 is permitted only for the purpose of research to eliminate SCP-354 and must be approved by O5 personnel. So I read that, I'm like, that's kind of interesting because for this one, they're just actively trying to kill the blood pond. Yeah. Because most SCPs are basically just contained and protected, but this one's like, nah, this shit's gotta end. We're done with this. And
you know what it is? It's up in Canada. No, it's too pure. We gotta keep it going.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. But I know that they've tried to kill other SCPs as well, like the unkillable lizard guy and such. But it was still a bit of a shock to read that up front about the lake, the pond, whatever. But yeah, and then later on it says Area 354 was constructed to contain and neutralize any and all further threats emerging from SCP-354. At the heart of Area 354, a 20-foot wall of concrete reinforced with blah 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 has been constructed to prevent emerging entities from escaping the area at large. So when I read that, I'm like, wouldn't it be easier to just cover the pond? Nothing says the size of it, but it's referred to as a pond, not a large pond or a lake. And I'm aware that this isn't Minecraft, so you can't just build bridges over bodies of water without support or anything like that. But still, if the pond is small enough, you could build a structure on 4 sides to properly support it and span the whole thing. And then note later on, when it upgrades, when Area 354 evolves into the Red Pool Containment Center or whatever it's called, site. That's it. It is literally just a half-meter thick slab of reinforced concrete over the whole thing.
We're just gonna slap this giant slab over top of this.
Yeah, just basically put a rug over it, more or less.
Yeah.
Push it under the rug.
I do like how each iteration of the securing facilities was getting they were getting closer and more tightly knit toward the pool.
Mm-hmm.
First one's a watching station, basically an observation station. So probably not there's probably some fencing, but not super.
It's like a fire watch station.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's kind of, I was thinking of a ranger station or something.
Yeah.
And then the next iteration, it's barricaded walls near the pool, the pond. And then the third and final iteration so far, it's just, they just put a slab over it.
Yep.
Let's put a lid on this.
Mm-hmm. And then we get into the creature notes. Most of the ones I had you commented on. One of them, the humanoid reptile of -4, 15 feet tall, seemingly bulletproof, and Mobile Task Force Omega 7 killed it. But like how? I want to know how. This is the third one in a row that guns apparently did nothing. Like, I hope at this point they're getting better gear because everything is becoming bulletproof. But how did they kill it? I don't know.
Redacted.
I know. I hate love that I don't know that.
Yes, I'm sorry, sir. You don't have the high clearance.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yep. Gets us every time.
Mm-hmm. And then it mentions that it's in the middle of Canada, the blood pond itself. So like, I look at a map and I'm like, that could be northern Saskatchewan or Manitoba, or like, heck, it might be at the meeting point of Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Nunavut, and the Northwest Territories, because they all converge on one point.
Oh,
It's the only point in Canada where 4 provinces meet. And I didn't notice that until I looked it up for this purpose.
Oh,
there's basically a crosshair in like middle of Canada.
Yeah. I'm like now looking at this myself. Oh
Yeah.
God, you're right.
It's
crosshair. So wait, is obviously the blood pond is not Caspa Lake.
Oh God, are you zooming in to see if there's any lakes there?
I am. Oh wow, there's a wow, there's actually there is actually a marker at the four corners. Called Four Canada Corners.
Nice.
And there are a bunch of ponds in the area, not directly on the epicenter, but nearby.
Honestly, it doesn't matter because you trying to find it will not matter because that area has been redacted. They would have copy and pasted some forest over that, so we can't find it.
Exactly. Yeah. They like Google Map. Like I'm sure. Like I'm sure there are like black sites in the real world that the government's like got Google Maps like basically covering up. So
yeah, like can you look at Area 51?
I actually think you can.
Seriously?
Let's see. Where's it? Nevada or where's Reno and Las Vegas? Okay, Las Vegas. Fuck it. Area 51.
You type that in, and all of a sudden, like your door gets kicked down. SWAT shows up.
Go. Nellis Air Force Base, Red Mesa. Now, mind you, again, I can see like a bunch of like buildings and some airplane, like some like plane lanes and such. But yeah, it's just in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the desert. So
yeah.
But again, like I'm sure like there's a bunch of stuff that's been like concealed.
Oh, for sure.
And Area 51 is like it's
not really a secret anymore.
Also, yeah, to be fair, it was a secret back before Google Maps, and like nowadays, like it's like, oh, it's they're harboring aliens. Like if they were actually harboring aliens in Area 51, I mean, leaving it out in the open and like like the best like secrets are like out in the open kind of thing, like hide it in plain sight sort of thing, or that's just a front now. Like that's just like that's where it attracts people looking for things, and then the actual things are somewhere else.
Yeah, they're at Area 52.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or Area 15.
Nice. Yeah, either way,
Or
I'll move on from there.
Area 69.
Nice. But yes, I'll move on from there. So it says, my gut tells me that there's something on the other side of the red pool, and just like digging down up to China, all we have to do is dig down up to it. So when I was reading this, I don't know if they're going to do it this way, but I find it interesting that like if they're going down, the blood is eventually turning solid, so they start digging, and like it would probably get to a point where like the hardness that they're digging through loosens up and just turns back into blood.
Yeah.
Like slowly over time. So like they'd kind of be able to get a feel for like where the halfway point is if they did that, but they didn't. They just kind of drilled until they showed up on the other side.
Yeah, I kind of I would have liked that actually, like because like they hit like a membrane basically between realities.
They drilled until gravity changed.
Oh, true.
Like
Yeah.
the gravity changed, and that's when the flip was.
Yeah, but they didn't say that they were able to stop drilling and just drive through the water.
But I think what
but
Mikey's
it would
saying
still
is,
be
like,
hard.
Yeah, like they'd still be drilling when gravity flipped.
I understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, yes, the flip point was gravity for sure. But if there wasn't a flip point, if they weren't going through the center of the Earth or going to another universe or whatever, and they were just drilling down until they stopped drilling, and then it popped out somewhere, then it would just go like liquid, solid, back to liquid.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it that way. They did a possible dimension jump. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Then this part later on, it says, Ackler, that ass, wanted us to bring SCP Redacted with us, but I wouldn't allow it. The file says that SCP Redacted was just born before he came through, so he'd be useless as a guide. I like that there are friendly entities that came out of the pond. It's shame that this is redacted, though, who this is.
Yeah, because it's obviously not that cat, that magma cat.
No, and it's not 076. It's SCP Redacted, which is one of the redacted ones from the list of entities that came out.
Oh, true. And because was that redaction? I wonder if that redaction was after the human that they just like gunned down, and they were all, and like the head guy was pissed off because like they could have learned something from that guy.
Yeah, probably, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the guy that they just killed because he was a dude, and then it jumps straight to 14.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch missing in there. One of them is SCP Redacted, I imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, he sounds like he's just a guy that is able to talk, but he wouldn't give much health because he was technically just born from the pool.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what's on the other side, apparently, as far as, like, that's all we know from him.
Yeah.
Like, through context clues, he emerged and he's like, I don't know, I was just born here. I don't know what's on the other side, I just woke up.
Yeah. Instance redacted, otherwise known as Blood Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Or Blood Babe.
Nice.
I mean, babe as in like baby, like.
Oh, not buxom.
Not an adult woman.
Mm-hmm.
Or not as the babe in the city.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we don't know that. It's SCP Redacted. It could be a talking pig.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Oh my god. Honestly, I'd buy it. Weirder entities have popped up in SCPs.
Yep.
I mean, look at Blackwood, or I think his name is Blackwood. The sea snail.
It's been a hot minute. I don't remember.
I don't think you were in that one.
Lord Blackwood.
That's probably why I don't remember.
Yeah. But I digress. Sorry.
He's fine. So my next point here is in the exploratory mission, they keep saying like the next quote unquote day, which was really nighttime, and they keep doing that over and over. That shit got so annoying so fast.
Yeah.
Like at the point I made this note, it's been 14 days, and they've at this point they haven't decided what to call this stuff. Like, to me, it's pretty clear what to do with this. The day-night cycle here is 43 hours, which is almost our normal 48 hours, which is a 2-day period here.
Yeah.
So 1 day cycle is 2 Earth day cycles. And humans would be operating in a four phases during that. You'd be awake for a 16-hour day, sleep for 8-hour day, sorry. Awake for a 16-hour night, sleep for an 8-hour night. So, to give them a name, just go day wake, day sleep, night wake, night sleep. You can very easily refer to this. I'm a fucking moron, and I figured that out right away. These guys are scientists.
Or alternatively, Earth Day 1 or Earth Day 13. To go with so that you have some context as to when they're going out and doing the stuff too.
Well, I meant to make it clear to the reader that I am going to bed, but it's still daytime.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
It's not to keep track of the days, the numbers, because they're doing Earth days for the days, I think. Yeah. Unless they're not, I'm assuming those are Earth days.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's pretty safe to say, based off the context in the logs, that they are using the 24-hour day period. So
yes.
But yeah, I will give you this. It was, I let it slide because like I was enjoying the rest of it, but like that was getting. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ignore this.
Yeah, it gets to a point where that information's useless because you don't want to read it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and they just sort of drop it,
they just stop. Like nothing really, like nothing of significance happens as a result of like it being nighttime or daytime for them. Really,
Yeah,
as it goes on. So,
I mean, it's good flavor. I just wish that they figured out a way to say it that wasn't annoying, so you would care.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I'll move on from there. So, I like/hate the amount of missing information we have, because like out of the how many days we up? We got 40 days out of the 48, sorry. Out of the 48-day exploration, we don't really have a ton of info aside from basically scenery and a wall.
Yeah.
And like during all the shit where it says data corrupted, that's when shit actually hit the fan, and we don't know. I feel like this thing is a written trailer to a movie that I am not allowed to see ever. Because you get some of the plot points, but all the cool shit you don't get to see.
And like that's part of like the purpose of it is like it's supposed to like entice you, and like less is more sort of aspect here. Like there is a bunch of cool stuff, but like it's that same thing. Like it's the same kind of criticism you can get with like found footage films, where like the film log suddenly cuts away and it's been like days, and like what have they been doing in those days? Like something happened in those days. Like they went from being like all nice and like things are looking up, and then to suddenly the next scene is them completely haggard and like
Steve's
injured. Dead. Yeah. It's like Bill's dead. It's like Bill, he was fine like a second ago in the previous scene. Like it's been 6 days. It's like Jesus, what? Yeah, like it's. I get what you're saying. It's like like you hate it and love it because like you want that information.
Yeah, but I like I like that there is some like immersion to it. It's just like there's corruption in the data, and like we don't get to know. That's part of SCP is things being redacted.
Yeah.
So it being corrupted is just another form of redaction, honestly.
Yep.
And then okay, so after the event log of 354-20, which is the staff all evacuating and nuking the site.
Yeah.
It says, following the total destruction of Area 354, the Red Pool containment site was constructed in its place. So I find this kind of strange, to be honest, because as far as I'm aware, at the top of the page, like talking about any SCP, their special containment procedure is there. And that generally speaks of its current special containment procedures. However, when we read through this document, Area 354 has been destroyed, and it's currently contained within the Red Pool containment site. Like, maybe they're both technically Area 354 because it's an area dealing with 354, but knowing SCP, they would have been like, this is Area 354C, because it's the third one. But like reading through this, it felt more like a story instead of a SCP entry because of that. Because like right up front, you should know this is the blood pool. Bad shit comes out of it. It's at the Red Pool containment site, not Area 354.
Yeah, the only way to fix that without like also changing the things above is to switch that document 354-5 to an addendum, because that way like it's an update in the document that doesn't like change like what was previously mentioned in the document, but it like gives you new information.
Yeah, this is kind of written as if it's this whole document is a blank sheet of paper, and as they're learning, they're just writing down more on it, but they're not changing the previous information.
Yeah, they're not the previously established like the containment procedures. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, it's weird, but it's also not doing that because it starts saying it's in Area 354. Meanwhile, if they're doing this in chronological order, it's near Watchtower, whatever the fuck. What was it called?
Watchtower Epsilon
38.
Something. 38, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not doing it's weird. It's doing it in chronological order, but also not. I wish it would pick one or the other.
because I'm
where
actually
my confusion was.
I am reading the special containment procedures, and like they're being a little vague at the start of like as to like kind of as to whether or not this is like Area 354, which is like the second one, or if this, but like they're not calling it the blood containment or what
Red
blood
pool containment site.
Yeah, red pool containment site. So like yeah, it's they would probably update the special containment procedures to reflect the more like the most up to date version of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that whole section should just be what it is, how it's currently being contained, and then move on from there, talking about like the history of this and what's happened, just so you know.
Yeah.
Wish that's the way it went, but it didn't. But that's fine. Then my last one here is, unlike the previous facility, which focused on research and neutralization of entities emerging from SCP-354, the new facility, this is talking about the Red Pool containment site, is devoted entirely to the containment of SCP-354 and entities which may emerge from it, as well as any unforeseen forces which it may create directly. This is largely due to the advisement of the new site head, Data Expunged, who believes that the events of log 354-20 were the result of a psychic or mental attack generated by SCP-354 itself. So, because the whole team was psychically attacked before, I don't understand why they want to keep entities on site instead of eliminating the threats for like giving further psychic attacks. Like, it kind of feels like these events are backwards. Like, the psychic attack could have happened because they keep all these blood lake entities on site, and the more of them around or something was doing like a hive mind Geth situation, making them smarter and able to psychically attack people. And then they end up shooting everything dead after that. But it's backwards. They start by murdering everything, and now they're wanting to keep everything for reasons.
Do they say they're keeping it? Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh no, keeping them. Okay, so
I'll read it again. Unlike the previous facility, which was focused on research and neutralization of entities, the new facility is devoted entirely to the containment of SCP-354 and entities which may emerge from it. They're not trying to kill any of them. They're just catching all of them. Gotta catch them all.
That might be a word, like a vagueness of the wording, because like entirely devoted entirely to containment of SCP-354 and entities which may emerge from it. Containment might be like just straight up elimination, no research, just kill on site, and whatever comes out, whatever breaks, like whatever comes out of the pool, kind of thing.
But it says, unlike the previous facility, which focused on research and neutralization, this is entirely devoted to containment.
Yeah, I know. Containment, though, in SCP generally has been like to contain the problem, like either, i.e., like what they've been doing earlier, like a new. I think containment here should probably be changed to something more clear. So it's like, whereas the previous one was focused on research and neutralization of entities, this one's entirely devoted on neutralization.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be, but it's not. It says containment, which confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah, and I can see that because containment does mean more than just like, keeping them alive. Containment for SCP Foundation is sometimes eliminating on site, like just to contain the problem. But yeah, the containment is a vague word in this instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last note that I had.
All right. Well, on to final thoughts then. I'm still going to recommend it. Honestly, this is going to probably be up there with one of my favorite SCPs. Both as an entry and as an entity. There's lots of fodder here creatively for either game inspired stuff or even using this entity or anomaly like for game stuff, or as story writing wise, like there's a lot of potential here for something like branching out like those in that group of interest that I don't think exists or that no one's written about, but like I kind of want that. I kind of want some stories about them. The way the story is written, like the sort of found footage, like recovered media or recovered document sort of vibe that a lot of other SCPs do have, mind you. This one, for some reason, it just really clicked for me. So I really got a kick out of it. So yeah, I will continue to be recommending this one. Mikey, D stands for evil.
So, the main entry for SCP-354, there's something about it that it just was meh to me. But the expedition elevated it, which is another section. Because the main entry is literally just about a pond that spews monsters. Like, we've, I think, had similar things before with SCP.
like Holland Hank. I think Holland Hank is a good example of another monster spawner. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
old timey fisherman guy that just like passes real and summons monsters. Or there's also Guam, the monster formerly known as Guam.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there wasn't much in the way of new in my mind until we get to the expedition and we get the otherworldly aspect of it. Which makes you go, well, where are these monsters coming from? And then they still don't get that answer.
Yeah.
Nope. So overall, I'm still going to recommend it.
Okay. And
you bring up a point there. Like, all these monsters that are coming out of this, they're coming out of the blood pool, which, if you go deep enough, is solid. So, like, does it open to allow them to pass through, or
are they just congealing into manifestations?
Like, they're just coming out of it, like they're being birthed from the wall down there, and then they have to swim out.
Another thing is because they had, like you said, like they had to burrow through a congealed like solid matter or the solid blood matter to get to that other like place. Is that the only source? Like, is that the only did they basically what I'm thinking here is the bottom actually going to a singular location, like a singular other place, or are they just pulling them from other places? Like, does that bottom area connect to other places depending on where you burrow?
It'd be kind of funny. Like, they go down, they start digging. Meanwhile, like 6 feet to the right, there's like a cave that just goes down and all the way out to the other side.
Yeah.
But they just had to just dig through the hard way.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a cave parallel to them that they didn't even notice.
Yeah, they didn't have the proper camera to see through the blood.
Yeah, they don't have their spoiler camera for the movie, and because they had to close their the front containment hatch or whatever it is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, either way, for me, I'm still going to recommend it. Like, barring a couple of questionable decisions and leaps in logic that I found, I still fully enjoyed the entry and would recommend it. It's one of the more immersive and info-filled entries that I've read in a while. Because some of the SCP entries, there's just so many questions that they're not answering that they should, and this one gets most of them. Like, it's got incident reports, it's got interviews, it's got multiple monsters, exploration of another world, psychic attacks, containment breaches, total destruction of its containment site a couple of times, and even the idea that over time the blood pond will eventually consume the entire world if they don't stop it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like right now, I don't know how much it's growing. He didn't really say, but it's possible that that's going to exponentially go faster and faster unless they stop it. So this could be a world-ending situation.
Yeah, we might be looking at the start of Bloodscape.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, either way, I still enjoyed it. I do think that it needs some stuff either explained or shifted around, because, like what I mentioned about the special containment procedures, should be talking about the current ones, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm still on the fence whether I like or hate that the entire log of the exploratory mission didn't matter, because it all could be lies. It could all be truth that's just beamed into some dude's head to write it down. But either way, none of it actually happened. So it's questionable if it's even factual enough to keep here. It's good to keep because it's something that is given to the SCP Foundation as a result of this, but like they don't straight up say that this could have, like they say that they don't know how it showed up, but like clearly it has psychic abilities, so
well,
I'm surprised there's no theorizing.
Well, yeah, like there is no theorizing, but like, yeah, like you're saying it's like, oh, like this, it didn't really happen, but it's like, but it could have, and just no one remembers it.
Oh,
So like, is the thing gaslighting? Like, oh no, this didn't happen, but they have, but it's sort of like the silent. I think it's called the silence in Doctor Who, or like a false Hydra, where
I don't know what those are.
yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
Well, let me explain. There's these things that like when you see them, they make you forget that you saw them. And the only way to know that you've seen them and before or interacted with them before, even attacked by them, you forget that you were attacked by them. You just think that you were hurt by for some other reason, or you have no idea, and you're now freaking out because why did I get hurt? But the only way to actually truly to know if you've been hit by that thing or if you encountered something like that is that you have like mementos, like you have like something written down, or like because it only wipes your mind, it doesn't wipe reality. So
yeah,
like,
so if you had a GoPro going,
exactly, yeah,
you would be able to watch the footage and see what actually happened.
Exactly, yeah, and similar to like they retrieved this footage, they may have retrieved this log from like the remains of the sub, but then the thing psychically like basically wiped everybody's mind about these individuals who either don't exist or either were killed by the thing on the way back up to the surface, or maybe they're in the enthrall of the pond and they have left the SCP facility and they're out there now spreading the word of the blood. And the Foundation just doesn't have any record of their names or their identities anymore. Like this hard document that they wrote down after this log that the Foundation retrieved and cataloged is the only concrete evidence of that this expedition existed, and that these people were either killed or turned into servitors of the blood pool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a lot of again, much like other like SCP entities and even like the Foundation itself. There's a lot of gaslighting. A lot of covering, like veiling out and cover ups and such that are like to keep things like nebulous and also like kind of anonymous.
It's weird how high up the gaslighting would have to go though, because it says there weren't even any requests to do this or confirmations that they should do this. So like, it's not just it gaslights people around the blood pool itself. Like it has to be the SCP Foundation's covering something up.
Well, we have also seen this before in another SCP entity, like something that has like this level of like brain fuckery for the Foundation. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like a box that just keeps erasing it, like erasing people's memories about like encountering or like dealing with it, and so they just keep sending staff to this facility that seems to be like not be understaffed because I think the box is eating the people.
Nice.
And then making people forget about those people who ever existed.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, again, this if anything, this just highlights like the level of threat this thing is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But either way, that's my final notes.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I guess we're still on a roundhouse kick to recommendations. And that will do it for this week's episode. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted. Some of us are on Blue Sky. Mikey is at the E Stands for Evil, and I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah! And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely, because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming into the void, the deep, dark void of a blood ocean. And if you didn't write these SCP entries and post them on communities, online communities like the SCP Foundation or what have you, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Now's a good time to mention that we are part of a podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcast network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.